Wow, Dax, how'd you come up with so many varied things to write about for all those lyrics to your Rap God remix?
Somebody's gonna call you on your bullshit. I'm a small channel doing it. It's only a matter of time before somebody else is gonna come out and call you on.
You just coming in here and just acting like the Tasmanian devil and taking everything that is not yours and then just putting it out there.
You're giving them the same recycled lines you put on like 5-6 tracks in a row.
Dax, stop doing the things that I've done, please.
I'll tell you how. You bit my shit. Matter of fact, you didn't just bite my shit, you swallowed a Massive Deuce. Rapping, gasping, breath, grasping jokes, to rapping, breath, gasping, grasping jokes. These are like scheme reworks are accidental. So if by some stretch of the imagination, and I don't even know what kind of stretch you got to make in your head to be like, out of 25 million tracks, somehow by like some weird stretch of the imagination, you could say he wasn't listening to my stuff and he really came up with all that stuff on his own somehow. Okay, so then what about
Mxlpct, baby, jag tänker sin det LS. Jag är sin shit, så jag ser in det man är god. Mxlpct.
You and everything else I fucking clumped you with.
Wow, Dax, how'd you come up with so many varied things to write about for all those lyrics to your Rap God remix? I'll tell you how. You bit my shit. Matter of fact, you didn't just bite my shit, you swallowed a Massive Deuce. I dropped the Massive Deuce and you swallowed as much as you could. You busted out the straw and slurped out everything you thought you could get away with. You were rubbing my shit in your gums. It's pretty bad, Dax. You ain't even Dax anymore. Your name is Jax now. Let's call it what it is. You didn't make a Rap God remix. You made a lazily bitten a Massive Deuce remix to the Rap God instrumental. Here's the thing, too. Like, I don't take calling out someone for biting lightly. Like, I don't. You weren't just caught red-handed. You were caught red-eyed, too. You know what I'm talking about, Dax? Everyone else will get what I'm talking about later, but you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyone who liked what he did on the Rap God remix should really check out a Massive Deuce. That's the raw, uncut product before he watered it down or repackaged it into the trash that he ended up posting. That's watered. And Hobson just called you out for this shit too. Like, that's not something I would just like throw out there and just try to put on someone. Because it's fucked up to try to put on an MC if it's not true. I ain't trying to build off other MCs. I didn't come into this to build off other MCs. That's not why I'm doing this. It's because if you did this to me, you're doing this shit to like a lot of other MCs. That's the way I'm looking at it. I noticed some of the lyrics sounded oddly familiar while watching the April G and the Jackson Pierce reactions to that remix. So anyway, I searched on Genius. Some of the words used don't come up too often on the same track. How do I know this? Genius has over 2 million contributors and 25 million song lyrics. Like over that. They have other stuff. I think like movie scripts, stuff like that. You can compare writing basically. In terms of songs, that's the spot if you want to compare other people's lyrics. Anyway, whenever I think I came up with a line that sounds like someone else might have come up with it, I usually double check Genius. M does this with his own lyrics to see if he spit something already. He's come out and said that. If you enter a bunch of common words like this, the, I, me, is, it'll match a ton of songs. The more uncommon the combination of words and names, the less tracks are going to show up. So when I enter words I used on YEESH, tank, mutant, church, seeds, weather, and kittens, only one track shows up. It's Dax's Rap God remix. Like the odds that two different artists would coincidentally make plays off those same 6 words within a year of each other are pretty astronomical. There's probably a better chance of hitting lotto. Like what makes this crazy though is the words that I'm not even using for YEESH when inputting the stuff. The words I'm not even using, I'm gonna say. And like just to give you a few more examples, there's only 2 lyrical results if you put the combination of mutant, nauseous, and basement. The Rap God remix and YEESH. Only 2 songs out of 25 million. Nauseous, mutant, weather. Same 2 tracks. And if you think the word nauseous is common, Dax has a lot of tracks, a lot. The only Genius search of him ever using it on a track is this remix. First time he ever used the word nauseous on a track. And it just so happens to be now. And it's the same thing for Mutant. He doesn't have the word mutant on any tracks before this. So what are the odds on that? So happen to be the only 2 tracks in the world that use it, but you weren't biting off of my music. So maybe I wasn't biting. Maybe you just heard the song, those words popped into his head, and he just started writing rhymes subconsciously. Nah, I don't think that's the case. Why? Well, before we even get into that, let's just see what Dax's history of recycling rhymes and stealing concepts from other artists looks like. Does he have a history of this? Let's go check. I had to go check. This is what I found.
In a lot of cases that deal with you, man, you just can't do that, man. As an MC, man, you gotta have respect. You gotta have respect. You just coming in here and just acting like the Tasmanian devil and taking everything that is not yours and then just putting it out there. You know what's working for you, cool. And when it comes to hip-hop, man, I mean, hip-hop, just the culture amongst us rappers, respect is a big thing, man. Respect is a very, very big thing. And whatever somebody else does, you know what I'm saying, you can feel inspired by it, you gotta hide it better, man. That's just what it comes down to. Just, man, yeah. Just stop, Dax. Stop doing the things that I've done, please.
Work. Somebody's gonna call you on your bullshit. I'm a small channel doing it. It's only a matter of time before somebody else is gonna come out and call you on it, man. And listen, I was a fan, but I cannot call myself a fan of somebody who walks funny, bro. Like, I can't. I'm honestly mad that I reacted to all this stuff and I just didn't catch it because some of these songs were weeks apart and everything. But then I started to, I'm like, yo, I feel like I've heard these lines. And it started to just like stand out to me because like, this is what I do, bro. I listen to music all the time. It's just crazy that I don't feel like I've seen anybody talk about this. I don't see anything in the comments, nothing on Twitter, like nothing. So hopefully this puts people up on some bullshit that's going down. I really hope. The way I see it is it's not fair to the people that you're working with, and it's not fair to the fans. It's not fair to the people that you're selling this music to. Like, you're giving them the same recycled lines you put on like 5-6 tracks in a row. The fans deserve better than this, Dax.
So Hobson just recently called him out. Dwayne Jackson called him out for recycling the same lyrics 5-6 times back in 2019. To the Dwayne Jackson full video, that link's in the description. He stole a Lil Peep verse after his death from one of Lil Peep's friends. How fucking low is that? Who fuck would do some shit like that? He's been caught trying to steal money from artists that they put towards features. He's tried pulling shit off on artists for years. He's already got a rep for this. He's been consistently accused of stealing from other artists. Maybe not directly stealing and recycling lyrics themselves, maybe concepts of video and other stuff. Hobson, he seemed like he didn't really want to get too into that call out, but Hobson writes his own shit. But Hobson ain't just going to come out and just fucking call him out for no reason. YEESH is off a project called the Massive Deuce. In terms of timeline of who dropped what first, I dropped a Massive Deuce on November 2nd, 2020. I dropped it on November 2nd. That just passed. It's 4 tracks. There's an intro called Outro, which is an audio collage of my old album, Broken Blocks, which I released in 2004. The song Madman, which is the first track I recorded since 2005. YEESH the Beast Loop, which is the second song since 2005. And the YEESH acapella, which is just the lyrics and sound effects of YEESH, the Beast Loop, minus the beat. There's only 2 songs on the project. I hadn't recorded any tracks in 15 years. Those are the first 2 tracks I dropped after 15 years. I dropped this project to 0 fan base. In terms of rapping, no one knew who the fuck I was when I dropped this project. I posted the release on all my socials, plus Lum FM, Drupal. Some of y'all like, what the fuck is Drupal? Yeah, on Drupal. I got a reviewer, YEESH, on Drupal, just to see what the reviewer score would be. I got 30 reviews for it. That's what came out. It's hard getting listens and video views when you're basically starting from scratch. I paid for some YouTube and Facebook ads to see if that would help. Did a little, but not much. So I got thinking, I didn't write the tracks for just general hip hop audience. I wrote it for people who like breaking bars down, specifically for people who like breaking bars down. So I started looking at how to get reactors to check it out to do bar breakdowns. I'm basically writing for their audience. That's my audience. Anyway, I don't have to go further into that, right? So I started paying for donor requests for YEESH. That helped me get past my first 100 subscribers. So I had 7 YouTube reactions to YEESH before he dropped his remix. The 7 reactors were Analyst, Jackson Pierce, King Blitz, LC4, April G, Devo the Ambivert, and Scriptwork. Two of the reactors we mutually follow on Twitter. I wouldn't be surprised if he subscribed on YouTube to most of the other YouTube reactor channels that did reactions to YEESH. The reactor community too seems like pretty tight from what I've seen, like over like the past couple of months. They've all been great to me. Either he came across it from a reaction or one of my social media bios like Twitter when I was replying back and forth with reactors he follows or something. So he could have came across my profile, thought I had a song, just checked it out and be like, oh, like, what the fuck is this? And then just started biting from there. But I think it's mainly from the reactors. He ain't winning this argument. King Blitz already called that.
Bro, I bet you win every argument, don't you? You win every argument. After hearing this shit, you gotta win every argument.
So why would he bite YEESH?
Oh, this is different. This is different. Now, this is not your contemporary flow. It's not your contemporary fast rap flow.
Because the type of track you'll remember, even if you don't like YEESH, you're going to remember it. And why is that? Here's a description of YEESH. It's over 1,850 words in under 6 minutes. Rounding, I'm going at an average word pace of about 5.2 words per second and about 7 syllables per second. Rap God's average word pace is about 4.3 words per second. It is the Godzilla sprint, but it's a marathon, and I'm averaging a word pace over 20% faster than Rap God. The thing with YEESH is it's a loop. So as soon as you hit play, you're in a scheme. There's over 300 words in the first 50 seconds. I didn't realize that was a thing until like about a month ago. It's done multiple times on YEESH.
Let me just say we're not even a minute in and we're at 354 words.
The first scheme, it's a continuation of the last scheme in the track. The reason I put the acapella version after the normal version for people playing the EP is if you're listening to YEESH and you're not paying close enough attention, you could end up minutes into the acapella without realizing you're on the second listen of the same track, just without the beat. The first time you hear it, the first scheme, it like flies by so quick that it could sound like fresh lyrics if you hear them again on the acapella like right after. April G had to pause this track like every second. Devo, it took him like 3 minutes just to get out of like the first 20, 30 seconds. That's how many times he like rewounded. Even when he gets to the end, it's like 30 minutes in. As he backtracks and starts rewinding again and the video cuts off. Like it just cuts off. Like he's just, and like I ain't even mad at him. Like, yo, for not finishing, rewinding until he was completely done breaking it down. It's like an unfair thing to ask a reactor to break down. I built it like that. If a reactor doesn't read the description and know what they're getting into, or if I don't send him the description, like LC4, I was like sending him the description as he hit play.
Connecting quicker and gently and lead the weapon, stripping a gun in a split second, and whipping ass so fast it thinks it's facing bomb. Wick that guy from taking in the men who trained him. Lately been laying dormant, viewing a sort of porn clips, focus, phone notebooks, phone notes. So when I notice and I notice the fist fit in an orifice.
Whoa, 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 wait a second. Wait a second. That was it. Hold on a second. It started off like that. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, that's my bad on him. Like he didn't know what to prepare for. Script work.
I didn't understand one bar. All I heard was a bunch of fast words. Oh, boy. I didn't understand no setups. I ain't never heard nobody in my life. He said he blew past Rap Guy. He blew past Rap Guy.
King Blitz.
Michael proving to drive you crazy. Your fucking heads up like I'm dropping
What
babies.
the
Bad influence, trust me.
fuck is happening?
They didn't read the description. They hit play. This is a track, like, if you're not planted for it, like, the reaction is, like, I expect you to, like, not get the track. You have to, like, kind of, like, mentally prepare your brain for what's going to happen, or it's going to just sound like a fucking bunch of gibberish.
But if you can actually catch the bars...
And go listen to faces like they can't make out the taste of semen, and you're like, gotta be drinking on fly, being nice enough to apologize twice for a beat. My words you think it to me, and then still come up short, and I'm numbed out.
Hold up.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Caving.
Nah, it's pretty cool that he's able to, on a serious note, it's cool that he's able to bend all these words and syllables this fast. That's fucking crazy. I can't even lie to you. That's a fucking talent, dog.
Definitely digging this.
At Disney.
Keep it
crazy.
Scream it for MCs to feed them. Like, that's a fucking dope ass rhyme scheme right there. Climax. I like that.
For ass play. Y'all get that if you don't. Okay,
it's too much. Too many bars.
You got a lot of talent, bro. It's unique. It wasn't whack because you had a lot of layers to your bars. There's a lot of layers. And if I were to break that down, that would probably take me a year because there's so many bars, so many double meanings, so many triple meanings, right? You had the speed there.
Seems like they're saying
So anyway, I'm going to break this down on a side-by-side lyrical comparison. Like I'm going to put the lyrics side by side, like as he requested with the line, if there's better, put our lyrics side by side and fucking prove it. All right, Dax. Other reason I'm going to put the lyrics side by side is Dax uses a completely different flow on his remix than I use on YEESH. A lyrical rework to a different flow is normally going to be harder to catch. He bits so much from YEESH though, it becomes impossible to believe all these commonalities are coincidental when you put the lyrics side by side. His delivery is playing off M's on Rap God. My delivery on my tracks is similar to the way I speak. My accent, kind of like Ghostface, Raekwon, Prodigy, Meth, Busta, Jadakiss, Banks. My accent's unique to a part of Flatbush that was uniquely mixed in terms of like race in the 80s and 90s. Anyway, that's like another conversation. My flow though, it's unique to the way I sound normally. I've always gotten M comparisons, but that's usually for the way I pack syllables together, how that comes out on delivery, and probably like some of the crazy shit that I come up with. Like the crazy shit that I come up with is just like crazy shit I come up with all day. I vent that out by writing. I've been doing it for decades. I'm sitting on over 4K bars right now. Just random crazy shit I wrote down in lyrical format. I'm going to do the side by side now. I'm going to try to go through this as quick as I can. There's a lot here. I'm going to start with the word Guinness. Why the word Guinness? On his Genius lyric page, he spells Guinness different. So if I try to do a word match, it won't come up because it's spelled different. But on top of all these other words that match, was less like Guinness is also a word that you just so happen to use. Okay. So my line is, and it's not even just that he just used the word, right? So my line is, hey, sir, we sent a text saying, quit a bitch. I'm in the middle of trying to get in a Guinness like a genie. I mean, a gas rag and a 22-ounce bottle of malt over a pack of beers. Like malt over, get it, malt off. It's a phone Guinness line. His line is, I'm setting a record. Will someone pretty please call Guinness? Phone to Guinness. To get into Guinness, it's because YEESH has more words in it than Rap God and Animal. Dax, I'm setting a record. Will somebody please call Guinness? Yeah, what record does it set? For the most words and most concepts ripped off of one artist and one project for a song? Is that what it earned the record for? Probably. Here's a scheme where he just ripped the scheme off. So the scheme is like Mxlpct, the only graduate of the Weapon MX program, the evolution of fusing a mutant with a nuke, imp from the fifth dimension, and a Looney Tune. Better challenges Dr. Doom, Romper Room, whatever. So it's evolution to mutant. Comes out of a Hugh Jackman play, which is Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine, who is one of the X-Men. And then in from the fifth dimension, a Looney Tune. So it's like I'm an Inhuman thing also. It's like the evolution of fusing a mutant. He's got, I'm not human. My constant improvement's about to start a revolution. X-Men out of the equation like mutant. If there's better, put our lyrics side by side and fucking prove it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, Dax. I'm putting our lyrics side by side. I have evolution to mutant. He has revolution to mutant. I have Wolverine, who's one of the X-Men. He's got an X-Men out of the equation. So that's like a scheme rework right there. Coincidence? I don't think so. Guinness? Coincidence? I don't think so. Okay, so next scheme rework. Let's get into this. For the eternity it takes to generate and amass the mountain range of lyrics I'm rapping, suffocating Brooklyn Watchmen fans, gasping themselves sealed into a vacuum, grasping at their own throats, reacting to jokes landed like multiple force chokes grabbed them. So it's a Watchmen, the TV show, commute from Brooklyn to Manhattan scheme, like intertwined with reacting to jokes, gasping, like and sealing yourself into like a vacuum of space, like sealing yourself. Anyway, like a suffocation scheme. So it's like a triple scheme. So I go from rapping, gasping. I have a sample of somebody gasping for a breath, like they choke, like they're trying to get breath.
Rating a master mountain range of lyrics I'm rapping, suffocating Brooklyn Watchmen fans, gasping themselves sealed into a vacuum, grasping at their own throats, reacting to jokes landed like multiple force chokes grab.
Grasping, then jokes. He's got rapping, going to, he takes a breath, gasping, to grasping, to jokes. They will never get the concepts I'm grasping, so they make jokes and start laughing and trash and bash and chanting. Like in terms of the order of these, scheme rework. Brooklyn Watchmen fans who catch him. He's got a catch line. Is that a coincidence? Chanting. He's got the word chanting, but I have here. I'm going to play the sample.
Steven screaming amen till the end of it all, believing it in the meantime.
Of like, you hear chanting and have other stuff like praying, chanting. It's all getting where you fit in like parking spots till a tank rolls up. So in that last game, he had tank. Of course, he uses the word tank. Tank's one of these words that doesn't show up in that many tracks. Coincidence? This also a coincidence? I get squashed by 2 Death Stars. He's got a star. He has the use of star. The transition is beast. Best ever at slaughtering tracks. Best ever. Best ever. Like GOAT sounds corny to me. Like just the whole term GOAT, when I first heard it, sounded corny to me. Greatest of all time. So, like, the only reason why I kind of use, like, beast is because I've never heard anybody use it before. And I was like, that's just, like, an obvious one. It's just been sitting out there. Nobody's taking that. I'll take it. And, like, the toss-up was like, is it going to be best ever at slaying tracks? Best ever, brutalist ever at slaughtering tracks, slaying tracks. So I was like, you know what? Just keep it simple. Best ever at slaughtering tracks. Double check. Nobody used that I could find. I was like, all right, I'm claiming that. Best ever at slaughtering tracks. But it's one of the best ever. I thought it was like a good use for YEESH. Of course, but it's one of the best ever. I got best ever, best ever. Coincidence? At this point, like, there's no way. Like, with these word combos, so I've pulling Hannity's head out his ass with 2 tubes of lube and a shoehorn. And I also have give you the finger like you asked for ass play, then yank it so fast the prolapse has your head out, exit the back way. So I have 2 head, ass. 2 of those word plays in this track. He's got... I'm ahead. That's why they talk behind my back. That went over yours and right up your ass. So he's got a head to ass wordplay. While planting trees to smoke from out his bag full of seeds of wrath. Him, I sell seeds. See, that was another one of those words, right? Like seeds. You don't see seeds in the same fucking track as like. There's also a coincidence. Before the weather slows me down, I'll fucking bring down the sky. He also comes up with a weather line, which is who do you know do it better no matter the weather? Coincidence? I don't think so. Here's complete rework. Can't call me a problem because that implies a solution. If you got a problem with me, the equation to solve it. I mean, like the way to find the solution. Coincidence? This is also a coincidence? Okay. Here's a funny ass rework. This one's fucking hysterical. For coughing at me in thinner slivers than corn tortillas to deliver anyone fronting more wraps than order buns. It's a food wrap double. You're mistaken if you think I will not wrap you in some bacon, which is a food wrap. Like food rap line. I got a food rap line. He's got a food rap line. Coincidence? I ain't stopping for nothing I tried. I am not stopping. Then he has, I'm never stopping. I'm not stopping. I'm never stopping. Coincidence? Jicks you for more than whoever you jack, man. That's the Wolverine thing. You jackman. Don't jack. He uses jack. And Danger Balls deep, pop it a blue. Don't jack my frog, get a poppin'. Sawing off hands, skinning them, and making mittens for kittens. Pause, and then the track pause. Like kittens pause, like their pause, and the track pauses. They call me a pussy. I think that's funny because I just bought me a couple of kittens. Like he had to find a reason to use the word kittens. Like coincidence? Like that fucking bar is whack as fuck. I can't believe you wrote that and put it on the track. Like, I could believe you wrote that line yourself. It was like, I gotta use kittens because the line is garbage. It's comically terrible. That's a comically terrible line. But you had to use kittens. Because, if you're going to jack everything, you're just going to jack as many words as you possibly can, right? All right. Spiraling into a twirl, nauseous world, hurl until Earth spins out a green orb with a ring of vomit. That's about throwing up, right? Throwing them up like it's out of the stomach. He's got a throw up line, right? He doesn't use the word vomit or hurling, but he's got a throw up line. But he does have nauseous, which is spiraling in a twirl, nauseous world. He's got I'll make you nauseous. Now, nauseous and mutant, super rare to come up with. He never used the word nauseous on any of his tracks before, but yep, he found the use for it here. I'll make you nauseous, which is pretty much what I said with that whole scheme, is that I'll make the entire world hurl and throw up. So I'm talking about the whole world throwing up. He's talking about like, okay, nauseous. He uses nauseous. Nauseous. Is this a coincidence? Like, who still thinks that this is coincidental? Like, I want to know. I got the bars to serve pours of unlimited booze for yours. Booze, and here's
unlimited booze for yours, along with shots.
The bars to serve pours of unlimited booze for yours comes out of like a Mandalorian scheme. Wait, that's Scar Bars? Anyway. So many bars I could feed a village. Like, that don't even make sense. Like, what kind of bars? Because you're not explaining. Is it restaurant bar, slash bar? Is it snack bars, like protein bars? What kind of bars? I have bars that serve something. You got to come up with bars that, like, serve something, but you're not even clear on that. It's fucking dumb. So that's like a weak rework. Burned in a remote field because it links back to a murder family. He's got... Then I explode and channel my aggression out to a remote location that you cannot reach. You mean like a remote field? Or like, to get where I'm at, I gotta bring you to me? Like that type? Is that a rework of that? All right. Burned in a remote field. I'm ready to burn down everything. But burned in a remote field, I have the word burn. He uses the word burn. We saw coincidences with a pellet sickened in the leftover exploded torso and veg after. Then I explode and channel my aggression. Yeah, the remote location. So he goes for the window reaching to climb, axe and finish. So that's part of a whole scheme with a reaching. He's got and channel my aggression out to a remote location that you cannot reach. So he had to find a way to use reach. So he's using a lot of these words and he's combining some of them. It's too coincidental. So all of these are clumped together. So I found them clumped together and that's why they're laid out like this. His supplies at his doorbell ringing. He ain't got a gat. So he goes for the window reaching. So banged on the window. So he's got like this fast food thing, but like they're like at like the McDonald's drive-thru, banged on the window. You got to reach for the like drive-thru window, right? So it's like window. This one, few pulls that I got me too high and red-eyed to spot reactions. I see red when, right? So he goes, I see red. Few pulls that out red-eyed. That's why I said he wasn't red-handed. He got caught red-eyed. That's why I said that because look, red-eyed, see red. He just so happens to have all the stuff in that track. Few pulls that I got me too high and red eye, popping their eyes. So he's got like 2 eye lines. I got an eye. I use eyes. Walk through a huge storm just to spit in its eye. Might spit, but I promise. So he's got spit. Think I suck when I spit. And these legends. So I use spit. Spit's not uncommon in a hip hop track, but still. When you start tallying it, when you start putting it all together, sometimes there's a few, there's like a small batch of stuff with super common stuff like spit popping, but this is just bananas. Still popping so hard, or I'll get it popping. Coincidence? There's no way this is coincidence. Word so vile and evil, the church holds live rehearsals in preparation to curse in my hearse. Then I go to the church I grew up in, and I have a whole church scheme. He's got a full church scheme. Coincidence? I've got like a mutant scheme. He's got a mutant scheme. I've got a church scheme. He's got a church scheme. I mentioned Guinness. He mentions Guinness. Like, yo. Got blown out of my last dream session, cycling through random thoughts, nonstop rotating top. This scheme's an inception, the game, getting top, and WAP combo. That's what this scheme is. I had a dream I rap naked. That's his line. I'm like, cock slap Satan or some shit, right? I keep more in the basement than a dozen Rockies. That's from the movie Rocky, the last Rocky movie. And they asked me, you still got more in the tank, Rocky? He's like, yeah, I still got some in the basement. That's what that's off of. He's got from the basement to the attic. That's like another one of these words. Coincidental? Like that just comes up as a match on a Genius search. Basement? So I have this scheme I did where it starts off, it took me like 40 rewrites. The scheme, driving on track with Ken Miles drive at a perfect lap, knack for exact precision, to race Le Mans, placing dominoes as they're tipping, finish the first flick in the last one, and then snapping the rack back at the stand-up position. So it's a precision scheme, where it's like you're racing a race car while you're placing dominoes as they're falling. And then as the last one's falling, you flick the last one and it snaps that whole rack back into standing position. I'm not a piece you can put in position. And just the video for that scheme took me like 4 to 6 hours. Legions of seething demons screaming. They'll scream my name like they're at an auction. Here's a sample. What do you think?
Only thing easy is a hero between them. Legions of seething demons screaming for me to eat them.
To scream my name like they're at an auction. Like legions of seething demons screaming. Is that how they're going to scream your name? Like they're at an auction? Coincidence? Order buttons, Grubhubbing, but what I'm leaving seamless. Yeah, that's like a takeout. That's food delivery, which is like, a lot of people compare that to takeout. I'm grabbing some takeout. It's also the word grabbing again. Making this replay crazy, a hyper speeder. He's like triple the speed and not even admissible. Speeding. I'm just an Indian in industry. Dietitians at the internet lyrics looking for niches this question. Indeed. I'm ready to turn up on the industry. And mine comes out of like the race car thing. And I'm ready to turn up on the industry, like a race car turner. Coincidence? Taking notes of what I notice. I've been speaking, but people don't notice. Coincidence? While planting trees to smoke from out of this bag full of seeds of wrath, right? Won't fall a leaf like the trees in autumn. I got trees, he's got trees. Time after time, wondering why rewind never gets to an end.
Time after time.
I don't got the time for that. Coincidence? Like multiple force chokes landing. Of course, he's got a force thing. Don't gotta force it, right? Like force it. I got force, he's got force. I've also, like, Notchton cuts to John Williams scores. Stay in the cut. Like I have another one with cut in it somewhere in there too. One bite I'll eat you and everything else I fucking clumped you with. You could tell I eat my spinach. And that like goes with his like eyes popping, like I'll have your eyes popping. Like he thinks it's like a Popeye double. It's fucking weak. Popeye double. Alright, so he's got syllable. I don't use the word syllable, but there it is. Give you the finger like you ask for ass play. Hand up your ass like controlling a puppet, so it's like both thing up an ass. But the puppet thing is, I have a Raggedy Ann and Andy line, and they're puppets. So scheme rework, which is coincidence. But then if fists fit in an orifice, which is like a fist up your ass. Oh, hey, hand up your ass. Look at, right? But he also has a fist line, like I'm fisting the game and got my hand up your ass. So if fists fit in an orifice, I'm fisting the game, got my hand up your ass. This one, volcanoes blowing, mix flowing, magma hot. My numbers are blowing. Blowing, that can happen. Whatever. Coincidental? I don't know. Who got face masks carved off and coughing at me? I'm with the cold, so I get them coughing. It's COVID. There's a lot of coughing bars going around right now. A lot of coughing going around. So I wouldn't even look at that twice, but could be coincidental. Is it? Over and over and over, jukebox skipping, Jack White, volcanoes blowing, mix flowing, magma hot. He's got, people call me corny because I'm creative. So I went volcanoes blowing. He's creative on a word. I do that with a word. He does that with a word. I go he goes So, but mine makes sense because the song Over and Over and Over by Jack White, if the hook, which has the word sung, volcanoes blowing, was skipping on a jukebox right at the hook, a skipping jukebox could create volcanoes blowing. At some point, I was going to use an effect to skip the V's, but I just, after a while, just started liking the way it sounded with the volcanoes blowing, mix flowing. So I like the timing of it. I like the way it came out. So I just like left it in there. I wound up not using the effect to get the skipping effect. I was like, it's unnecessary. And it just like, but I did that. He does that stylistically. That's a complete stylistic rip for that track. Am I saying he's never done this on the track before? I don't know. But now, coincidence? Triple Fisherman nodded. So many lines, I'm about to go fishing. So I've got like a fisherman. He's got fishing, right? So fish could just be coincidence, right? Whipping an ass so fast that thinks it's spacing. Don't want to rap fast, so I know. Fast, coincidence. No warning, going atomics, my warm-up cold starting. I'm winter cold, coincidence. So far at the box, I'm going to stomp you. The X in the box. But when I'm leaving, seamless, never ending. Music for the people that will never get played out, right? Never. This shit just doesn't end, man. Like, it just doesn't. Never. Wondering why rewind never gets to an end. I will never motherfucking lay down. Never. So there's 2 on YEESH. So I'll do these both. Pay and play. I'm like an overdue bill, better try and pay me. I'll knock out your lights for trying to play me. He's got PayPal. All transactions are done through my PayPal. The beat that I killed is what paid my parole. I would have got the job, but I need to make payments. Then play what they're going to do when they're hanging on like a playground. So now Dax is what they motherfucking play now. Music for the people that will never get played out. Like, none of these lines are iller than those two. And like, none of them are iller than like an overdue bill better try and pay me, or I'll knock out your lights for trying to play me. None of them. Couple pairs of scissor and hedge clippers. I stay in the cut like a couple of stitches. just bought me a couple of kittens, right? Did a couple. Record skipping. We had the record thing before. Somebody called Guinness, right? I'm breaking a record, right? I'm setting a record. Sell you some records. So I got record. He's got record twice. I got couple. He's got couple twice. These are coincidences. I'm in the middle of the East, right? Middle. I have middle. Coincidence. Stripping a gun in a split second. How to use a gun, boys. Gun. Coincidence. Like, which ones of these are coincidence and which ones aren't, right? So, connecting quicker than Jet Li. I move quick like I'm grabbing some takeout. I move quick. Because I'm fucking coming out of space. And he tells me he's coming. Are these all coincidences? So, he's got, while I'm constantly surpassing levels surpassing. In my description for the track, the description states that it surpasses the word counts of Rap God and Animal. So this is conceptual, but like, I'm bored. It's like sipping soup la-di-da and stirring a pot of lava. I'm cooking it up like it's out of the kitchen. Basically describing I'm like cooking something. He's got cooking. Now, so this is funny. So I'm just using this line as like just a reference. Now imagine what happens if I dump a shitstorm on it, right? He's got like, you're the opposite of what you do when you're constipated. I'm dropping a shitstorm on it. You're the opposite of what you do when you're constipated. I agree with this. Dumping a lot of shit. The project's called the Massive Deuce, which is definitely like a deuce double because it's two. I call it that because it's just like two songs with a ton of shit on it. So it's a Massive Deuce. I have a ton of shit bars on the project. So yeah, I dumped a lot of shit. But your line is you're the opposite of what you do when you're constipated. This is like my most terrible shit line ever. Are you saying that I'm running shit? You're the opposite? Is that like diarrhea? Am I running shit? Are you saying I'm running shit? You're the opposite of what you do when you're constipated? I'm running shit? I'm just dumping a ton of shit that you just eaten? Because you just bit all the shit I've been dumping. So, you guys think this is all coincidence? And let me recap, because this is a lot. The Guinness thing, the mutant, evolution mutant, revolution mutant, rapping, gasping, breath, grasping jokes, to rapping, breath, gasping, grasping jokes. These are like scheme reworks are accidental. Best ever to best ever. Head ass, weather, food rap to some form of food rap. Nauseous to nauseous, whole vomiting thing. This is all coincidental. Like red eyes to see red. Church scheme. Like I got a church scheme. He's got a church scheme. This is all coincidental, like off this track between these two things. Like, look at the amount of words I could pop into Genius right now, and these two tracks would still match. It's fucking absurd that this is coincidental, right? Like, what are the odds that this is coincidental, you think? Winning Powerball 10 times in a row? Like, this just happened to be an accident. Like, all these like, kittens and kittens. Yeah, it's nuts. Like, the amount of stuff that he ripped off of this is nuts. Like, he's never used nauseous on a track before. He's never used mutant on a track before. All of a sudden, they're all on the same track, right? The red high scheme. So if by some stretch of the imagination, and I don't even know what kind of stretch you got to make in your head to be like, out of 25 million tracks, somehow by like some weird stretch of the imagination, you could say he wasn't listening to my stuff and he really came up with all that stuff on his own somehow. Okay, so then what about Madman? Because I only released 2 songs in 15 years, and this is some funny shit. Because if I type in osmosis, train, practice, and shine, which are 4 words I have on Madman, only one other track pops up, and it's this Rap God remix. So I only dropped 2 songs in 15 years. I just dropped them on November 2nd, and somehow his one song matches, out of 25 million other songs out there, he happens to match the exact 2 songs that are on this project. Like, when was the last time you saw like osmosis on a track? Besides his, because we just heard his, but like osmosis, you don't hear that often on a track. There's very few tracks where that pops up. Train, practice, shine, right? That's all you needed for it to be. That's how uncommon it is for like stuff like this to pop up together. That I only needed 4 words to do a complete match with his track. Now, what's funny about this is the words, like I said, the words I didn't even put in. Like with YEESH, I didn't even put in Guinness, and it popped up. Like without the word Guinness, because he spelled them different. With Madman, he uses POTUS. right? But he spells out POTUS, P.O.T.U.S. with the periods in it. Me, I have a line pulling bars off Arkham to go beat on a POTUS and he coughs up a pardon, which is go beat on a cop, president, and Tussin is the cough syrup, like Tussin, and he coughs up a pardon. So it's pulling bars off Arkham to go beat on a POTUS and he coughs up a pardon. And his is, I'm biding my time, I might fuck around and change my handle to POTUS bars. So I've got bars, POTUS, he's got POTUS bars. Okay, so he also has POTUS. That's coincidental? All right, there's a lot of stuff with the president. There was just a new election. Okay. I have a line by product of the process of osmosis with the cosmos, and he's got an osmosis scheme. I got an osmosis bar. He's got an osmosis scheme. Here's another one. Stretch elastic till the detonator triggers plastic. So I bounce back like elastic. Mine's spelled like elastic, so it won't match on Genius if I type it in like that. He uses the actual word, right? So stretch elastic, right? And he's got like a TikTok rap bar. He's got like TikTok bar, right? TikTok rap, that's his line, right? So stretch elastic till that triggers plastic. But also in the beginning of the track, there's like ticking going, like the tick, 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 tick. You hear ticking going on in the beginning of the track, like right here.
Time it isn't afraid the second of panic, trying to stretch elastic till detonator triggers plastic.
So this is where, right off the jump, when I looked at this, I was like, yo, right off the jump, he started biting me. Right as soon as the track starts, he starts biting me. Because the way I start the track, and Madman is the first track I did after a 15-year break from the mic. And the first lines I say are, hi, I used to be a bad guy, even an evil person, but I've changed for the better, meet the meaner version. And ain't putting no one on a pedestal. I don't beef when I meet with the beat. Mine's like a reintroduction after a 15-year break. Meet the meaner version. I'm playing off bad, mean, evil. Bad, evil to meaner than that. Meet the meaner version than that. And put no one on a pedestal. I don't beef when I meet with a beat. It's garbage. Continuing to choose to train, I'm out of practice. I'm not a train on these beats. So I got trained, he's got trained. At this point, this can't be coincidental. Even if you gave him a stretch before, like off the YEESH, like I hate it, yo, he bit the whole fucking project. I'm out of practice, but the stream will still seem like you're in a piss of match with Galactus. This is practice. He's got a practice line. I don't even really know if that's a double or triple entendre. He's got double the skill of any individual, triple the speed. I got a double triple, he's got a double triple. Not coincidence. And I don't even really know if that's a double or triple entendre. I got a triple entendre? Is that what did he misspell entendre? Did he really mean entendre? Like, I gotta really look at that. I've got that's a batch of bad acid, but to flex, like lactic acid. Shine through the shadows, they get more shine on. Shine, shine. Mix will flip, mix will rip any track. I suplex these bars and make them flip. I'm like flipping whole tracks, he's flipping bars, right? So I'm flipping tracks, he's flipping bars, flip. Even an evil person, he's got, person. This ain't coincidence anymore. Maybe a few of these little ones like person might be coincidence. You ain't on my level, I'm way too high. He's got when I'm constantly surpassing levels. So levels. After listening to me simply kill some of the illest tracks that hit the industry, you hear, but you do not listen. Listening to listen. That's what I got to do to not remain a mystery and shine through the shadows of the greatest in history. I'm rapping about what I have to do to be visible in the shadows of the greatest in history. The legends. He's like legends pretend I'm invisible. That's a rework. But if you open that door, he's got then he opens up the gates. Door, gate, but open that. And he uses that for like a Bill Gates thing. Open. While being murder figure to take a stab at returning the kill. As part of like an M, music to be murdered by scheme. I got booked for murder. He's got murder. Shine through the shadows of the greatest. I've got, so if you got a problem with me, the equation to solve it is Dax equals great, right? So that's the math thing. I went into the math thing before on the other one. Equation and solve, problem, he had problem. But then great. Long to explore corridors of my mind. So I've got minds, he's got minds. I go by mix for short. Just using the word mix in there. Coincidence? He's got, towards the end, a better proceed with caution line. Proceed with caution is a sign. Here's the thumbnail. You mean like a warning? So I have a whole zero scheme, which is that's not a shot, not a zero. If you're counting to add up some drama, it's also an equation, which you go back to all the equation stuff, add up some drama, it's still nil. And the video shows zeros being added up. 0 plus 0 equals 0. He's like 0 time. I also have like, if you want to go 0 time, I have like countdowns where stuff hits 0 time. So that's coincidence. So select left click Mxlpct into God mode. Click to very clickable. Mine's like select left click, like selecting a character, like in a game on a computer. Select left click Mxlpct, enter God mode. So if like you click Mxlpct, that's God mode for that program. He's very clickable, right? And then I also have clicking sounds on checking that quote because I'm referring to a stock quote for CSV on the YEESH track. So you hear like keyboard clicking noises, very clickable. My name's Dax and I'm a God, calling it a rap God remix, so the word God, whatever. So trying to see low roll from an opponent's soul and tripped on 6 over Deuce from Lucifer. This will play you off the like rules of the game CeeLo, which is a dice game. So he's like cock slap Satan. Lucifer, who goes by many different names. One of them is Satan. His is naked cock slap Satan. It's like the weakest Satan boy. You have the weakest Satan boy you could have ever come up with. I got so many fucking Satan boys. Like it's fucking garbage. Like that Satan boy is like, I've never come up with a Satan boy that weak. I've got so many fucking Satan boys. Mxlpct was making you look stupid. I'm so swift. I stole the shoes off Lucifer. Mxlpct was making you look stupid. I'm so swift. I stole the shoes off Lucifer. Like I use that just to prepare when I'm going into a booth. Like that's iller in that line. And that's some shit like I don't even have on any tracks. You want a Satan line? I'm bringing hell. Sending Satan as my harbinger. Slay you while you pray into a nailed up carpenter. Like that's a Satan boy. Cock slap Satan? Garbage. Never mind. I'll run it back like a running back. They will never get the concepts I'm grasping. So he used never a couple of times on the last track. And I used never a couple of times on the last track. And I used never a couple of times on Madman. I used never twice on YEESH and 3 times on this track. He used never twice already and another 2 times also. So it's like, never mind. Run it back like a running back. They will never get the concepts I'm grasping. Yoda never figured this shit sits with a twist. I'm never stopping. You better proceed with caution. And this whole fucking Yoda thing is like Yoda never figured this shit sits with a twist. Jedi did came with the Force, slid, let Vader think that they is. The whole scheme is like Yoda, but because of my accent, it could sound like I'm saying yo they. But it's Yoda never figured this shit sits with a twist. This shit and Sith all use the same letters. Sith is the dark side of the Force, the opposite of Jedi. Came with the Force, slid, let Vader think that they're his. I'm basically saying like when Anakin was away, I banged Padme, and I'm Luke and Leia's father. Jedi did came with the Force, slid, let Vader think that they his, and that's kind of like how Yoda would say Jedi did. Like if Yoda was talking in slang, he would be like Jedi did. I'm never stopping. And if you can't see why, then you probably never will. That was the 5th one. He used 4, I had 5. Uses of the word never. Left turn at the next intersection. He's the next generation of rapper. So I have next. He's got next. Equate along human centipede. That scheme's just, yeah, I'm not going to ruin that one for you. So I have like human centipede. He's like, I am not human. That was part of his whole revolution thing. I'm not human, revolution. To align this song till this song. Every song, so I got the word song, he's got the word song. So he's got this line. Everybody knows I spit fiery flames.
Mixed flowing, magma hot.
I don't say fire. How much more flame could I have put between these 2 tracks? Look at these images. Like my whole name's in flames. I don't think I could have used any more flame between these 2 tracks. I could have. Everything could have just been on fire the whole time, but you know, even I had to break it up. So running back like a running back that just rushed 100 yards, football play. He's got I see red when I'm in my zone, like it's 4th and inches. I got a football play. He got a football play. You need a ladder on Everest just to be eye to eye. So Everest is the pinnacle, which is the highest point on Earth, the top of Everest. He's got, I use the word pinnacle when I'm barely at my pinnacle. So I'm wondering if he came up with that from the Everest bar and also Himalayas, because Everest is in the Himalayas. Conceptual rework. See, those things like that would have been fine. The way, you know, pinnacle, if you use pinnacle, use Himalayas, reworks like that would have been fine. Cock slap Satan, like, probably would have been fine. But like when I'm looking at all this together, it's obvious that he's got like all these things though that I'm saying between these two tracks all found themselves in some way to that remix. That's not a Rap God remix. That's a Massive Deuce remix. You completely bitter Massive Deuce. It was fucking funny though. Dax, if you would have just said, yo, I'm feeling this project, I want to remix it, and I'll put it out as like a Massive Deuce remix to the Rap God instrumental, I wouldn't be shitting on how corny your fucking rework is. Like, I'd have been cool, great, thanks for the exposure, whatever. I wouldn't be shitting on you for it. I'd have been like, great, if you gave me fucking credit for it, but you didn't. Even if you hit me on a back channel, was like, yo, I want to rework some of these schemes, do you mind? No credit, just straight rip. You're like trying to pull all the shit off like you came up with it. You didn't come up with any of this shit. You didn't come up with any of it. Even the fucking PS5 scheme that was like that little clever thing, I don't believe you came up with that. Like, I'm pretty sure if we dig, it's going to be like some shit you bit off somebody else. Anything that even looks remotely clever, I'm assuming that you bit it off someone else. Like the Moses Osmosis thing, that rework, I don't even think you were clever enough to like come up with that Moses Osmosis scheme yourself. I bet if I go digging, somebody else is going to have an obviously close Osmosis Moses play. I'm pretty sure it's going to be out there. Even your whole Asian scheme, the whole thing with the Asians, yo, I'm wondering if that just came from the fact that I've got a sushi bar. If, like, I'm talking about sushi, because sushi is Asian. So I'm wondering if, like, that whole thing just came off, oh, sushi's Asian, let me try to do that. I don't know. Like, you just rip so much actual shit off now. Like, these reworks from the fucking first two lines, you rip shit off. You started reworking shit from the first two lines. Yo, this shit is fucking funny as fuck. Like, the amount you stole is fuck. You can't write. Because I can even spots where you're trying to connect all this shit, you're trying to rework shit and fill it in. Like, you're taking, like, double, triple entendres and reworking them into shitty lines, individual shitty lines. If I read some of these lines just on their own, just without that flow, the actual content to the lines themselves is fucking like big blocks of this. And I get every now and then, like some rappers, you got like a couple of, like rappers got a couple of lines of filler. Like I really try hard to not have filler. Like, and you need transition lines sometimes. And every now and then you need a line that you're like not too happy with just to carry to the next section. And you're just like, all right, fuck it. I'll just go with this. You get tired of writing. I got time. I can just sit on it and not do shit until I've got something I'm happy with. So fucking, I don't have that issue. All right. So yeah, I'll just go right from here. So many lines, I'm about to go fishing. I'm cooking it up like it's out of the kitchen. They call me a pussy. I think that it's funny because I just bought me a couple of kittens. They cannot compete. There is no competition. I stay in the cut like a couple of stitches. I'm not a train on these beats like these rappers in Hollywood do these video vixens. Video vixens, like rappers running trains on video. Like, that's dumb as fuck. I'm not stopping. I'm going to do it often. Won't fall or leaf. Like leaf, yeah, like in your parenthesis. Like the trees in autumn. I'm winter cold, so I got them coughing. They'll scream my name like they're at an auction. Don't jack my flow, or I'll get it popping. Then brush it off and get back to flossing. My drip is real. I don't got a faucet. Someone else did that shit already. I'm Michael Scott. I'm in the office. Whoa, you got Michael Scott was in the office. You put those two things together? Michael Scott and The Office, you fucking put those things together. You're a fucking lyrical genius. I'll make you nauseous. This is not TikTok rap. I don't got time for that. I'm ahead. That's why they talk behind my back. Fucking brilliant. That's how they talk. Yeah, because if you're ahead, that line's already been done too. That's really been done before. That went over yours and right up your ass. So it went, okay, well, let me try to figure this out. I'm ahead. That's why they talk behind my back. That went over yours and right up your ass. But that doesn't seem as like, then give you the finger like you asked for ass play clever. I don't know.
Into a glass ashtray and give you the finger like you asked for ass play.
Give you the finger like you asked for ash play? Or ass play?
For ass play.
Give you the finger like you asked for ass play.
That's bars, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Wave into a glass ashtray and give you the finger like you asked for ass play. Yank it so fast the prolapse.
Then I'll give you the finger like you asked for ass play. Yo, dog, you're actually spitting some real like layered shit, like multi-syllables. Like He's spitting some fucking entendres, double meanings, triple meanings.
He had to change the link. No. Yeah, how much did you have to fight with yourself to not use Galactus? Where was I? I'm ahead. That's why they talk behind my back. They went over yours and right up your ass. Only person I can throw at is No Life Shack. Cause you're like, if you fucking mentioned No Life Shack, fucking, you're gonna get a reaction from fucking No Life Shack. Oh, gotta throw his name in there, cause you need a fucking, so everybody can fucking jump on fucking No Life Shack's fucking Twitter feed and fucking be like, you gotta react to this, and his fucking IG fucking being like, yo, we mentioned you on the track, now you gotta react to it, right? Like, that's why you did that shit? Yeah, we know. I kill it, so much drip I got spillage. Wait, hold up. I kill it, so much drip I got spillage. Wait, hold up. Too red-eyed to spot reactions to blood splotches. Drowned out in a wash of ogashes. Was that a rework of that? Like, is that what that was a rework of? Okay. I'm popping their eyes. I'm one of a kind. You can tell I eat my spinach. Popping eyes, eating spinach. Popeye, eating popping their eyes, eating spinach. You can't even find a way to just get it to be like Popeye to eat spinach. You couldn't fucking work that. Like, your bars are shit when I can clown you just by reading them straight back to you. Like, that's how shitty your bars are. Based on these line reworks, it's pretty easy to see you got no pen game, Dax. You got zero pen game. The shit I could tell you wrote on your own shows you got no pen game. I'd be surprised if you came up with a creative idea on your own. Looks like you've been doing this from day one. Let me go through a few more of these. Because I'm hitting with continuous interconnecting schemes of doubles and triples, and your reworks are lines like, who makes it rain and makes you get an umbrella. They call me a pussy. I think that it's funny because I just bought me a couple of kittens. That's still fucking hysterical of me. Never gonna stop being funny. I'm not beefing unless I'm at a steakhouse. Better respect me when you motherfucking speak in my name. Or what? You might force someone to scream on you until you apologize? That what might happen? Yo, I came up with a team that stuck up more shit than thumbtacks. You ain't got what it takes. You're a lying, sneak thieving, fraudulent, bitch type motherfucker. Like, that's what you are. You're a little fucking clown. Like, face-to-face shit like that? Like a face-to-face? You ain't got that in you. I'm ready to burn down everything that tries to get in my way. I'm ready to turn up on the industry and fuck up the game. I'm fucking insane. Like a madman? Like that kind of insane? And my name's Dax, and I'm God, so don't use it in vain. Or what? I used to be a janitor. Nah, you still a janitor. An unemployed one, because you definitely ain't a writer, based on these fucking boys. Like, how fucking... Yo, how much of a clown you gotta be? Like, how much of a shitty pen...
One more time. They call me a pussy. I think that's funny because I just bought me a couple of kittens.
Leaving you too stumped to clap or hold applause. Sawing off hands, skinning them and making mittens for kittens' paws.
Out of penalty, I'm dealing now for stealing's losing hands. How fin?
Where I could, like, clown you just reading your bars back to you.
While we're on that, am I gonna do a diss track? Nah, you ain't worth that. I can nursery rhyme slay you with a rework of your rework of my tracks. While real MCs are writing the rhymes deciphering, Dax the goofy googly-eyed goon sucking off tube siphoning. Dax, warning signs of fajita not eating. TL apologies won't help here. And talk about tweeting. You vanish and drag to a remote location. Feeling nausea coming up, chucked in an open casket, breathing. Slammed down, better nails, biting right on the face. And very grasping, gasping for breath, pinned in a makeshift Iron Maiden. If you want to know the name of who's ringing the matter, switches on tones. Dax just got 8 on Mxlpct stone metronome. You so obviously bit my tracks. Like, I spotted it right away, just watching reactions. So one of the reactors who reacted to YEESH, Madman, and your Rap God remix, I sent them this DM, and they knew right away who I was talking about. Notice, I don't mention the names of the tracks, and I don't mention the names of any artists. And he knew who I was talking about right away. Because he reacted to YEESH, he reacted to Madman, and he just reacted to your Rap God remix. You mean your Massive Deuce remix to the Rap God instrumental.
Yo, anybody supporting him as a rapper after this, like you're just like suspect after this if you're still supporting him, especially labels, managers. I'm gonna assume you encourage biting and your whole roster's doing the same shit if you're still fucking with him after this.
What are you gonna do? Make a diss track? You can't make a diss track. You're fucked. Ain't no one gonna believe you wrote a diss track. No. Start fucking with file types. Start photoshopping dates. Try to pretend that like they try to play you off that you came up with the rhymes beforehand. No one gonna believe that. They're fucking with file dates on notes and shit. There's no one's gonna believe after watching this that you come up with your own rhymes. You try to make a diss track and do what? And no one gonna believe you wrote it. You're gonna go on Genius and steal a bunch of rhymes from other MCs to try to make a diss track? Nobody. No one's gonna believe you wrote a diss track that had bars in it. After this shit, nah, no way. You're done. You're gonna get a team of ghostwriters? I'll fucking slay a team of ghostwriters. Wouldn't even help you. I'll slay a team of ghostwriters. Like, my writing came from somewhere. Yeah, nobody knows who I am. And I'm coming out of nowhere. But this pen game didn't come from nowhere. You think the level of skills behind my pen and depth to my bars came from nowhere? My old shit, where I'm just straight barring, is iller than anything you've ever written in your life. Your fucking lines are terrible. Who you know, make it rain and make you go get an umbrella. Like, who the fuck comes up with garbage like that? Your pen game, you have no pen game. You can't write anything on your own. You're a recycler. You go on Genius, you steal a bunch of other people's lyrics, rework them into shitty versions of themselves, try to use a different flow to disguise it, and put that shit out. Your pen game is garbage. It's trash. You have no pen game. What are you gonna do? Get a team of ghostwriters to help you out? Who gonna walk with you right now? Who the fuck's walking with this dude? Yo, you gonna walk with him? Who's gonna walk with him? Who's standing with him right now after this shit? I wanna know, because you're suspect to me. If you claim you're hip-hop, this shit, hip-hop, you gotta come up with your own shit. Yeah, like Hobson said, you can get inspiration from things, but you take too much. Hide about it? This isn't even hiding. You took too much shit from one source. I only had 2 songs. You took that much shit from 2 songs for 1 song. You didn't even try to hide it. What'd you think, like, because nobody knows who I am, I'm not gonna be able to do shit? Like, you can't hear on my bars that I'm, like, not who you want to fuck with? I built almost all that shit, with the videos, on my phone. This, right here, with my phone. Imagine what I would do with a full set of production resources. And if I really need to get that, if I really want to go that way, I can get that shit. Do I do this shit? This is why I do this. This is why I build my schemes the way I do. This is a reaction to someone catching my M-bars. When someone really catches what I'm doing, this is what happens.
Some drama. Oh my holy mother of the motherfuckers. That was a brilliant bar. Or bars.
Even your M-bar is garbage. That's just not even homage to him. That's just, you just reworked one of his lines on one of his instrumentals. That's homage? You think M's looking at You think M's looking at your pen game? He looks at lyrics. You think he's looking at your pen game going, wow, this guy's a fucking amazing writer? You think that's the case? You think any real lyricist is looking at your lines on a Genius page going, wow, he's a fucking amazing writer? That's why you ain't hearing from them. Because motherfuckers read lyrics. Lyricists read lyrics. Your shit on paper, when you actually read them, there's nothing there. There's just a bunch of garbage lines. There's nothing there but garbage lines a fucking 5-year-old could have wrote. You try to play like you're some form of lyrical genius. There's no genius to you. You just Frankenstein a bunch of other people's shit together. Your genius ain't got no teeth to it. I know because I checked. Probably because I haven't uploaded most of my lyrics yet.
Suicide King's back with a deck that'll knock the molars out of drag. Your carnage jaws tearing through you like rows of canine packs. Let over look, I'd rather have Van rammed over to play poker with Bram Stoker while dropping wild deuces too batshit for all you wannabe jokers.
But don't worry, Dax. There's no beef. If I want to make you tense, I'll bend the spoon till it forks both sockets. But I ain't here to handle your optics. Yeah, I'm done, Dax. Now you can leave. Feel free to keep the chair. Wait, on second thought, I need to clean all this shit up. Used to be a janitor, right?
Ain't no good guys, ain't no bad guys, I just deal with what I'm given. No matter what I do, I can't get through till I end up looking like a villain. You ain't a good guy, you ain't a hero, you're a victim, I'll end up killing. You know you need me, so when you see me, you can point your fingers and go, there's the villain.